Today's journey takes place in one of the must-see on the island of Crete, Gorge Samaria, a 16-kilometer hike from the mountain peaks all the way down to the sea. This adventure started at 6:55 a.m. when we left Hania and started our journey to the top of the mountains. Hey guys! Which way to the valley? To the Samaria? Hi guys, hey? They don't know. Locals. On the way there, I just had to stop and take out my drone. The views were incredible, and while walking with my drone in hand, the only thing going through my mind was, I truly feel alive. These are the moments that we live for. Throughout this video, you're gonna hear us say George instead of Gorge. This is a mistake on my part, and we both did say it throughout the whole day. So if you hear us say George, we meant to say Gorge. So we've made it to the top. We are at
Samaria, George.
And it's so beautiful right here.
Yeah.
And a huge trek in front of us.
16 kilometers ahead of us.
All the way to the beach. So we're going from like the very high mountains all the way to the bottom.
Let's do it. So the first part of the hike is that you are going steep, but here are the stairs with the rocks, so it's not as demanding as just going without those stairs.
And the views so far are beautiful.
They are just breathtaking and mesmerizing. So what is cool about this hike is that you are constantly just going down. You do not have to go up.
So, the reality of travel. Probably on the video is gonna be like a minute or 30 seconds, 10 seconds, but for us it's like an hour of walking down. That's the reality of travel, where it's different than you see on the video. So, one thing that, as always, I do is I prepare myself for this kind of adventure the best way I can. So as if you look at my shoes, once again, I'm in like light running shoes for a trek. And this is giving me flashbacks of way back in Poland in the mountains when we did the video. But this time is a little bit easier.
As you are hiking, you can find a little village of the pebbles. There are tons of them, and they are watching you.
This one here is Evie's.
This is my contribution to the whole village of the pebbles.
This one.
Stay here.
We can actually hear the water from here, from the pebbles. We can hear the water. So that should be the stream going downhill. Made it to the stream. We can hear it. We can see it right here. Evie and people. This is also the place where our first meeting with the stream was, as well as the first time crossing it. We had no idea what was ahead of us. For many hours, you find yourself in the middle of nature with beautiful views. It's time to disconnect to connect with yourself. So, we are
halfway to our destination and we made 6.5 kilometers.
It's really beautiful here, and you know, just being here in the nature, really like you disconnect and it feels so good. And the pathways here are beautiful and we still don't feel like we're halfway done.
Yes. And I would say the first part is more demanding than the rest.
Yeah, the rest is pretty much going straight forward, like through the forest, through like the lakes, or actually through like the smaller rivers and streams. It's really cool and really like connecting with the nature here.
Yes, but I would say it's really worth to get here and to do this hike, even if you like read these comments about how this hike is demanding. It is not as much, I think.
Yeah, it's not as much as we thought it's gonna be. The first part, yes, it's a little bit more because you're going a little bit more downhill, but from there it gets easier and easier.
I would say we were so pessimistic about this hike that now it's not as bad as it is.
And we're so happy to be here. So, let's go farther. Close to the halfway down is an old village of Samaria. So right now we are actually by the old Samaria village. Good that I have Evie to correct me. Yeah, she's right there. Happy that she corrected me. But anyway, we are right between like all these ridges, rocks and everything. And then you can see on this side there's actually some leftovers. And on this side there's actually a little bit more. If you look closely, you can see everything still intact. And then a lot of people here. A resting spot and everything, so it's very cool to see. It's incredible to think that once there was a small village in the middle of this landscape. And here is the moment we started to panic a little bit. According to our calculations, we were on time, but we were not sure of it. Every now and then we just checked the time, and with no connection to the internet or GPS, we only had the small signs after each kilometer.
So I am super interested how they get here actually. It's like in the middle of nowhere.
From now on, the stream crossings turned into river crossings. Sometimes there would be a bridge and sometimes just a couple of rocks. On one hand, we had this beautiful landscape. On another, the adrenaline of getting to the end on time, since we need to get on the boat to get back. So pretty much the last part of the hike is going through the valley by the stream that I fortunately had the chance to fall into for a little bit with my feet. And we're going to the end, but it's the beautiful valley here.
And the scale of the valley is just astonishing. It's so huge that you cannot even imagine how small we are here.
And we even had a small scary incident where we heard a loud bang, only to hear it coming towards us like a missile and landing in the water beside us. A rock has fallen down the cliff. And imagine us being in a tiny gorge, barely enough space to walk because of the water beside us, and seeing and hearing this happen. So we're finally by the Iron Gates, where two different mountains pretty much meet, and between them the small creek, or the river now. It looks spectacular. And it's right here. It doesn't look as good on camera, but it's beautiful. So we finally got to the end of the Gorge
Samaria Gorge.
Samaria, George, National Park, or the pathway, the way we were going, our hike.
But there is still about 3 kilometers ahead of us to get to the village.
From where we were gonna take the ferry to get to the bus, to get to the car. So it's still not the end of the adventure, but it's the end of this park.
So what is interesting, we were at the exit 7 minutes after the closing time, and there are so many people behind us, so I don't think so that they are closing at 4 p.m. It's just like estimate time. So at the end you can buy fresh oranges for €3, but this is so tasty after those 13 kilometers.
From the end of the national park, we walked on for another 3 kilometers, but these were on a paved road, all the way to the village of Audiio Romeli. From there, we had a ferry to a small village of Saugia. From where, we had the bus to where this trek begins, the top of the mountains. This is definitely one of the must-see on Crete. And definitely for us, a story to remember. So we're back where we started.
12 hours later.
At the parking in Xilascalo at the very top, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that's gonna be it for today. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like,
comment,
and subscribe. We hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and we'll see you next time.